Oh my god, guys.
Let's go Google, Google, Google. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thriving Frugal, where we bring the fun back in frugality. In this section or this kind of videos, what we want to do is basically tell you stories of the wins, mess, and losses of frugality, because we believe this thing is a lifestyle. So we would like to tell you our experiences, the ups and the downs. And without saying anything more than that, recently you posted a short that went viral. Of
Watch it, it will go viral.
there's a video. We are in our car, 3 days old. There's an elephant right in front of us, and we are scared.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get yourself in that mess?
We like things within our pocket, of course. We took a trip to Kruger National Park, and we had an adventure on what do they call them? On loops.
Okay, an adventure on loops. I'm like, okay, so you just went to Kruger National Park and like, let me go into a fruity loop.
Not the one you eat. But for those that have gone to Kruger countless times, I'm one of those. I stay in Limpopo, just 60 kilometers from Punda Maria Gate. So we go in and out of Kruger every now and then. But we always take the tar road to Shingwedzi and maybe to the next camp. What is it called? Now I'm asking someone who doesn't go often. And then you just come back. But never have I taken loops. So the loops are like the gravel roads that you can take outside the tar roads that are there. So there you get to see like animals in their like more natural inhabited where there's no tar road basically.
Okay, for those who haven't seen the video, I think we should just take a moment to look at the video and see how it goes.
Oh my god, guys. Thank you, buddy. We're not fighting you. I can even feel your heartbeat.
No.
He was stuck here for 5 minutes.
I know.
I'm breathing with my mouth. I need to drink water, guys. That was intense. That was very intense.
What did you mean you could feel my heartbeat?
I didn't mean feel per se, but I could hear your heartbeat. Like your heart was beating out of your chest. It was so funny when you went mang. It was just the two of us.
I'm like, thinking the same thing. Like, how are you feeling my heartbeat? Like, lady, you were sitting there tired. I'm sitting.
It was going goo goo goo.
Yeah, I think for me at that time, I was sitting there and I'm like, oh snap, how are we gonna get out of this? Is that Milo? I'm like, oh snap, how are we gonna get out of this? And I think I was just devising a plan to get out of that. I'm like, so you're like, hey, I can feel my heartbeat, and I'm like, lady, what? You're talking about heartbeats? Like, how do we get out of here? Like, I don't wanna die here.
Literally, what was your plan or what was going on in your head in that instance?
I mean, like, I had just implemented tips from the ranger, which we'll talk about later. But I think for me, now all the tips have been done from the ranger, and we still just have this animal in front of us. And what you don't see in the video is that on the right is a river, and we were actually seeing some elephants migrating down the river. And that's the reason why we got so close to the river in the first place, not knowing to us that there's so it's a curve. And we drive in the curve, we don't see the elephants behind. There's a tree on the left, we don't see the elephants on the tree. And then we drive and we go by the river because the gentleman, the ranger, advised us go by the side of the river so that you can see. And we're like, yo, man, look at that. The elephants are migrating with the babies. Boom! There's elephants with babies on our left. Now, what you need to know is that you don't want to be close to, what do they call, the bull? You don't want to be close to a bull where there's a baby. Now, there's a whole family of elephants by the tree, and I think that's why this bull actually left the tree to come to us. Next thing we know, we just see it up here on our side. And I think I didn't see it because you were like, babe, look. And that's why you ended up being the one recording the thing about 2,000 baht content. And I'm like, the elephant is, how are we gonna get out? I think that was what was going on in my mind. Yeah, what was going on in your mind?
In my mind, I was like, previously I had bad footage, right? Because I was scared. I'm always the one on the camera because my husband is the one driving.
Yeah.
So I always have like these fuzzy pictures or like videos. So now I was like, okay, it's a scary moment, but this is a good moment. Like, you don't get opportunities like this often. So don't mess this up, Kansani. So I'm like there with a steady hand. But the more it came close, I'm like, okay, it's getting real. And every story and maybe previous encounters that I've had, or even videos that I've seen of elephants tipping animals, are just like, what if this is us? But I'm there thinking, shucks, I also don't want to ruin this video. So yeah, I was just like, let's see what will happen. But I was scared. And okay, I think it didn't make it easy, the fact that the car was literally 3 days old. If you're being superstitious, you're like, Baloy, what's in? Maybe we messed up by doing this with the new car, but
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the end of it all, we were like, let's do it again.
And now every time we go, we want to have that adrenaline, funny enough.
Well, yeah, we don't go out looking for it.
No.
But
it's found us.
It's found us 3 times. And yeah, so why? I mean, like you say you grew up in going to Kruger National Park with your family, and I think your mom did something interesting there and actually become some kind of
volunteer
ranger. So basically, your family was doing this quite a lot, and I wouldn't have actually gone into Kruger National Park, I don't think, if had it not been for her. I went first there with the Reynolds Sandero, and I was like, man, I'm coming back, and we came back ever since. But yeah, you told me that you had not gone into loops with your family. Why didn't you go into loops?
Because the drivers are always scared. Now I'm a like of things. So the first time I went alone, I was like, yes, this is it. And the rangers were like, it's okay to go.
Yeah.
And it's safe, even with a smaller car.
Yeah.
But obviously, you will never know. That's why they give you the tips they give you, which will render later.
Yeah. But I think when we went there, when we were about to leave, I think your mom was like, "Are you gonna go into loops?" So
she's like the driver 90% of the time. So
it was like, yeah, you should go. No, you shouldn't go. Yeah, you should go. Yeah, you shouldn't go. And then now, by the time I go there, I'm like interested. What are these loops? Now I'm thinking, is it something you can eat?
Wow, Fruity Loops.
No, that's a music software. But anyway, it's
cereal as well.
Yes, I know. I'm just being serious. So I went in there and I had this curiosity, but I was also like your mom, like, do we go? Do we not go? Do we not go? Do we not go? And we went down through the town road all the way to Shingwedzicamp, where we met a ranger. And we were like, yo, we want to do this. Should we do it or should we not? Like, do we even have a car that's good enough? I mean, like, we're driving with a Renault Sandero, 2012. Brother. And he's like, yeah, he actually said, what did he go with? An old sedan.
Yeah.
He would self-drive
Corolla,
himself. I think Corolla.
Yeah.
He would just try self-drive. And he suggested a loop. And it was a very long loop. 10 kilometers?
No, it was longer. It's
20,
from Babalala.
yeah.
If you've been to Kruger, it's from Babalala to Shingwedzi.
Around 20 kilometers.
No, I don't know.
I remember,
don't
yeah.
remember now.
We don't really remember. But it was beautiful. I loved it. And yeah, we got in there. But this was not this was probably our second. We had an encounter with elephants then as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember any? With they were not close calls like with the
They were not
Renault
close calls.
Sandero, yeah.
I remember one, and I think you have a vivid memory of the other because that one was a close call for you as a driver. But we were we had a camping trip in January of last year, and we were trying to beat time to get to the camp that we were meant to sleep in.
Yeah.
And then an elephant just was like standing in the road.
Oh yes.
And we were like,
Yes. We were like,
Yeah.
remember that one? So now we're like, guys. And then we're traveling from the north,
Yeah.
where we typically. So what we normally do is travel from the north and get
And
out
then
in
get-
Palabora. But
yeah.
now we were like, we are gonna push ourselves
Yeah.
further. But we had this elephant right in time of us. Now there's a time frame that you have to be either inside a
in
camp
or
or outside of Kruger National Park. And this elephant was right in front of us. We were like, go away! And we were not even near close. And, well, we were close, but not close enough
Not
because the
close enough.
speed limit is what was
60 or 40.
60
It's
or
actually 40.
40. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were not driving at 60.
And what delayed us is actually the
Yes,
cheetah we
yes,
saw.
yes,
But
yes.
it was a beautiful encounter.
Beautiful. We had and that day was so amazing because we entered Kruger National Park on the northern sides where we typically do not see cats. I think it was the first time in
Yeah.
your life that you saw
Seeing
cats.
Cheetahs.
First thing we see is cheetahs.
Cheetahs, uh-huh.
And then as we drive, during that day, rushing home, we see a leopard. And it was playing right in front of us. And typically when
And
you
we were
have...
the only ones.
Yes, that's very special because in the southern sides, when you see a cat, there's a
20
bazillion
cars.
cars with you looking at it. We had even our friends who were in Kruger National Park at that time envied us, and they were actually, and we had two friends in at that time,
Yeah.
and they were actually envying us. One was saying we were in the south where they are, and we haven't seen cats in days. And anyway, yeah, we had a week where we were traveling from the north side of Kruger National Park down to the south.
And camping.
And camp hopping.
Not glamping.
Yes,
Camping.
We literally had a rooftop camp that we rented and just tore down, put up. And the idea was that we would stay in a camp only once, with some few exceptions where we stayed for 2 days. We will make a video of how that experience was, what we would do differently. There are things that we would do differently. But we would definitely, I think I would do it again.
I think I would.
I think I would also explore just spending more time at a camp and getting used to the area. But that was great because we had actually a good feel of
Which camps we like.
which camps we like, and basically we had an idea. Now we know Kruger National Park quite well. We have a book actually but we can tell you how to plan a trip for Kruger National Park. But
Without breaking the bank.
yeah, so we were going to we had an early morning self drive. We were going back to the camp, and then there was a ranger driving. And as we were driving towards them, there was an elephant in front of them, and they drove that elephant towards us. So you can imagine how I'm feeling about this guy. Like, bruh, you are the ranger. I'm supposed to be driving the elephant toward you, not the other way around. But anyway, at that time, I remember the tips that the ranger gave us that time we went first into the loops. So if you encounter an elephant, the first thing that you should never ever do, remember that video that trended with the ranger and the elephant are taking.
It's like, hey, yeah.
Remember what that ranger did? They reversed. You don't do that. Don't ever do that. Pity for him, he didn't have windows. We did. But what the ranger was is that if you have a way to get away from the elephant driving forward, then you wouldn't even be scared anyways. But most of the case that you have an encounter with an elephant and it's something to be worrying about, the elephant is in front of you. You don't reverse. Because you're gonna get yourself in trouble. And I think your mama has told stories about it following you for kilometers and kilometers. You have to have your reversing check. Imagine.
And that's a tar road, so imagine if you're in a
loop. And they don't call them loops for nothing, because tar roads are straight, loops are curvy, man. So you're gonna get yourself in trouble.
Nina, who buy licenses? We see.
Yeah, no, don't do that. Don't think that your car has a camera at the back. No, you don't got it. Don't reverse. The first thing that you do, close all your windows. The elephant shouldn't smell you. That's one of the mistakes that they couldn't do anything about with the ranger. They didn't have windows. So close all of your windows. And I closed all of my windows. Turn off the engine. And just wait. And we've done this like what, 2-3 times, and it worked on all times. This time when we were going back to the camp, the ranger literally brought the car and they stopped, and I turned off windows up, turn off the car, wait. This time it was crazy because the elephant was even doing this. You see that one, it's nodding, it's like, my bra. But then I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm there. I'm sure she could feel my heartbeat even then. But it was rough. And then eventually it leaves. And then the ranger comes back and it's like, well done, bro. Imagine a ranger telling you, well done. It's like, you stood your ground. And I was so proud. I saw that ranger the next time later in the day at a different camp. And he was just like, and I was like, yeah, I'm a ranger now. But anyway, that's what you do.
Yep.
Close all your windows, turn off your car, wait. But it was hard in this instance because it was hot.
Yep. So heat and time is what will kill you with these instances. Because if you are late, like the key word or the key thing to do is wait. But if you are late, you will have a fine or you'll not make it on time to your camp.
Yeah.
So,
so person asks you, are you stupid? Why would you self-drive instead of be driven? What do you say?
Okay, for me, self-driving is cost efficient, so that's why it works. And you also save what? Oh, no, not save. So it's cost efficient. So you save money by self-driving. And number 2, you also go to the places that you want at the time that you want. Because self-drives are usually timed. They're either like 2 hours, 4 hours, or 6 hours. And the more hours you have with the ranger, the more the price becomes. I think a full day drive is like 2,000 rand. That's almost 2 full tanks. So, and I also realized that a lot of people tend to go to the smaller game reserves around and be driven, but you'll usually just find like an impala there, a giraffe there, instead of just going to Kruger National Park where you are most likely to find everything you want. And I know the temptation of Instagram friendly pictures where they will give you like a welcome drink, nyana, orange juice, guys, with a strawberry there. That's what you are paying the 3,000 rand for. Is it worth it? Personally, no. But if the likes on Instagram are more appealing to you, I don't know. But for someone who wants to experience the full wildlife, I would say tell her your full tank and go to like a big game reserve instead of going to those local ones where you'll pay a lot of money for them to just show you 2 rhinos and 5 giraffes.
Yeah, and I think for me, one of the things is it's about being pragmatic about living your dreams. You don't have to wait for retirement to live your dreams without breaking the bank. You can do it pragmatically now within your means. And I don't know. Yeah, I guess there are areas like you said that so the rangers do not drive. Like we've driven in long loops. I don't think there might be a drive actually at Shingwedzicamp that you can go through the loop that we went, which is a great loop. Every time when we're north and we're in Kruger National Park, I want to go in that loop. It's just great. But yeah, I think for one, you don't have to have a lot of money, especially if you're a day visitor, where you have to juggle time. Because sometimes you see something really nice and then you cannot make it to that appointment that you have at Shingwedzi where you booked a day drive, but which is also very costly. It doesn't make sense if you're living close by, you have your own car, you can just drive through and see all these nice things yourself. But also there are areas where they just do not go at all, and where they do not go, you often get nice scenes. There was a time we passed zebras and giraffes, and it was like a scene from real life Madagascar, not the animation one. It was just amazing. We have that picture, we have that video, and you just get to see more. I think that's about it for me.
And arguably, someone would say that if you use game rangers, they do communicate where to see specific animals, but not all is lost when you're doing a self-drive, because when you get into a camp, people do put stickers, or you can even ask game rangers there to if they know or they've talked to another ranger who went to a drive on where a certain animal was found. So don't think that if you are doing a self-drive, you'll miss out a lot. They actually also don't know most of the times. They are just looking as much as you would be looking in a self-drive. So yeah, I would recommend it. And another good thing, someone would say that, okay, if you go to the small game reserves around, which they force you to book for like a night, so that 3,000 rand or 4,000 rand, some are even 20k, includes accommodation. But we did that going into Shingwedzi and coming out through the Palabora gate and literally booking an Airbnb. It was amazing. I think I have footage of it. I'll insert it. And it was just less than 400 rand. And you do your game drive full day in Kruger 6 to 6, and then you go out just outside the gate, you find a nice accommodation, and then you drive back home the next day. What do you need an SUV to do this? Definitely not. Like we said, the first I found my husband driving a Sandero, guys.
2012 2012 in 2018.
So you don't have to break the bank for your first car. So I think the first 2 times we went with the Sandero, and then we went into loops with that, and it was perfectly safe. Are there routes that you think we needed an SUV in?
No. The only time we've ever needed an SUV is when we were at Dinokeng Game Reserve. We'll tell you a bit more about that shortly. And we went into a 4x4 route. a friend of ours was driving a Ford Ranger, and we were going in there driving the Haval, and it did okay. It did well in the 4x4 route, but we've never needed to climb when we were not in routes that were specifically 4x4. We've never needed to climb on rocks or whatever, or whatever those 4x4 things. And Kruger National Park rangers try to make sure that the roads are kept clean. And there are times where it floods in Kruger National Park, but they tell you, they put boards and say, do not go into this route. And they're actually proactive, not reactive. They know what the weather is going to be like, so they take precautions. They don't wait for disaster. So they often close. All you have to do is not go in areas that rangers tell you not to go. And then you are very safe. One big advice: avoid stepping on elephant poop. Don't do that, because then you will come back and try to fight us. So that's our disclaimer. You step on elephant poop, there's
you won't come out.
And
there's no network.
Yes,
Kruger
there are
National
certain
Park.
areas that don't have network. Not all of them. But you step on an elephant poop, you brought it upon yourself. Don't step on the poop, because they have those.
They eat everything.
They eat
even
everything.
thorns. And they don't fully digest their food, so their poop may contain the thorns that they eat.
Yeah, like this log literally can go into your tire.
And if you are in a loop, loops are not everyone goes into loops, so you will find that person who will arrive at 4 p.m. while you were stuck at 9 a.m.
But even the thorns, you can find them on the tar roads. So Kruger National Park has tar roads that you can... One, if you are afraid of loops, you can drive yourself on the tar roads, and you could still see some action. We literally saw a leopard on a tar road, and we saw cheetah on a tar road. But we've seen tons more in dead roads. So the problem of elephant poop is everywhere. Just don't be... in the burbs, you don't step on a KFC paper bag.
Wow.
So what are you thinking stepping on elephant poop? Go Kruger National Park. I say, I'm like...
My recommendation is that you go try these places out and have fun in your youth days. We try to plan a trip for couples every year. Our single friends are mad at us for that. It's like we are encouraging marriage, which is not a bad idea, but we'll have another one for singles soon.
And when we say single, we don't mean that you are in a relationship, you can come. No, we mean your status go home affairs. Okay?
No, when we say couple. Singles, couples, I don't know.
Okay, when we say singles, we are including couples. Yes. We are excluding married people. When we say singles.
Oh, yes.
We're excluding married people from the lot.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense now.
Okay.
So you see, you're not forgotten. Soon.
Oh, and guess what? One of our friends that were singles then are married now.
Married now. We'll invite you on this one.
But tell us about that time now. And I think that goes into the next question. What do you say? I think we had some friends that were like, I don't want to do camping.
It's how I grew up. It feels like suffering again.
Why am I going to go suffer?
I think, so there are two options, right?
Tell us also the story of the Dinokeng with the friends.
Okay.
Answer your question, tell you that story.
So that was pure camping. No electricity, no lights. There was network there, so it's not that intense like Kruger in some areas. But it was fun. I think everyone who went there were like, let's do it again next year. You like live the burb buzziness and just go to a secluded place, have fun with your people, man. And what else? I think people enjoyed it. People
enjoyed it. Everyone said it was refreshing. It helped them forget about the drama on the news and also the drama in the burbs. We'll tell you more about the drama we've experienced in our burbs.
And when we came back.
And when we came back from Kruger National Park.
From Dinokeng.
No, not to Kruger, but Dinokeng, the same camp that we went to, literally. Spoiler alert. They thought we had dacha in our yard.
Yep. And if you want to try it and you are not a full camper, if you are not sold by the fact that you will still have fun even though there are no lights and you have to put on fire, there are also glamping options in some of these camps and in Kruger as well with nice beds and aircons. Obviously it's a bit more, but it's not too expensive. I think it's like 600 if you book on time. It's like 600 per night, and then if you book closer, that's where the prices go insane. They typically have single beds, but if you're a married couple, you can just slap them together. But the camp that we stayed at in Dinokeng Game Reserve, and they have some pretty nice camps there. We just went to a bush camp because we wanted to camp. It's called kyleubushcamp. So bush camp meaning that it does not have electricity. There was two options of being in the fenced part of kyleubushcamp or in the unfenced part. So in the unfenced, lions could come and chill with you at night. We had hyenas. They have a lot. We had them at night.
Jackals.
Oh, jackals.
Yeah, jackals.
Yes.
We actually, the first night we arrived there, jackals were going crazy. And it was such a pleasure to hear. And in the morning, we had a rooftop tent in the morning, and my wife, I was like, look, the roof. So the rooftop tent, not the roof, the moon. So it was like in the morning, and that there was a moon eclipse, and it was so bright. The moon, the moon was so beautiful. You could see it there. And my wife missed it, and fortunately my phone was dead. So it's the only. But one of the things is like you had a rooftop tent. We didn't buy it. I think one of the best advices I've ever gotten about interests and hobbies is that if you're gonna try it out, rent equipment first. There's what are they called? The place where I rented. I'll put them down in the link here where we rented our camping equipment. We literally rented some ground tents. You can literally stand in them. They were very strong in the wind, and we had a rooftop tent ourselves because we had a front runner rack.
And that was in preparation. So you can do that for maybe a permanent purchase, or because we're planning a 5-night camp to Kruger, wanted to see which option works well for us, the ground tent or the rooftop tent.
So we ended up just renting, and so the Dinokeng Game Reserve was actually a pre-camp for our main
Kruger,
camp, where the one we were really excited for. So you don't need an SUV.
Nope.
First and foremost. Did you get the water?
I did. So have water, have drinks and a lot of snacks, and just enjoy the scenery and just being out in the wild, guys. And if you have a sunroof like me, they say don't open the windows. But I'm joking. Don't do it.
And I think whether it was Dinokeng Game Reserve, whether it was Kruger National Park, the many times we went there, whether we were sleeping in or sleeping out, we've definitely had tons of fun in the bush. Speaking of, I just remembered, there is a picture where we are in a loops with a blue polo, and they are in front of us, and in front of them is a giraffe. And that polo was much fancier than our Renault Sandero, but the time we were driving a Havao. So if you were wondering if you need an SUV, no, you don't. They were white, yes, but you can be black and do it too.
Yeah. Do it and stop going to drink alcohol. I'm joking.
And I think it's safe to say every time we've been like, let's do it again.
Yeah, it's not exhausting. You have a different experience every time you go there.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's it.
yeah. Well, see you next time on Story Time. Hope you enjoyed. Cheers.
Don't forget to like,
Subscribe.
and share the video.
Yes.
Tell us if you like this content
Yes.
or we should
Yes.
switch it up.
Yes. Yes. Everything she said.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
This